Hello and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be doing a guide on Arcane Mage and duels at least. This can be applied to BGs and arenas maybe, but this is mainly for duels. It's just how I operate in duels and how what talents I use, what macros I use, what keybinds I use, all that jazz. So let's begin. So for starters, let's go over my talents. Here I've picked Presence of Mind, Shimmer, Enchanter's Flow, Resonance, Ring of Frost, Unstable Magic, and Arcane Orb. These are all the best ones in my opinion. I've seen people go with Rune of Power, Charged Up, and Quickening before, but I really don't like that build at all. It's too reliant on setup. It's just not very effective when you're trying to be flexible, and especially if you cock up a lot like me, it's not very, flexible, like I said. So let's just go over the talents and what they do. Presence of Mind causes your next 2 Arcane Blasts to be instant cast, so yeah, Presence of Mind, it can only be used on Arcane Blast, and there's 2 of them. So now we've got Shimmer as well, which is 2 blinks, and yeah. Enchanter's Flow, you know what that does, it's just a passive, increases damage. Resonance increases your Arcane Barrage damage by 20% per target it hits. Now in single target, that's a 25% damage increase anyway, so that's pretty good. And yeah, in multi-target when you're fighting like a BM Hunter or something, it is also ridiculous. So yeah. Ring of Frost, this is just very useful. Ice Ward might be better against melee, at least not against druids, but, other types of melee. But Ice Flows I wouldn't really recommend. It's dispellable, it's not half as good as Ring of Frost or Ice Ward, really. And lastly, Unstable Magic and Arcane Orb. Unstable Magic is imperative for your burst, right? Because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be popping cooldowns, getting max stacks, and then Presence of Minding, then doing 2 Arcane Blasts. Now, with Unstable Magic, you can deal 50% extra damage per Arcane Blast in that setup. So that can pretty much be like an extra 20 to 30k damage, I want to say, maybe. And yeah, it's just very good. Also we've got Arcane Orb, you just need this to generate charges, so yeah, there you go. Now, as far as my macros go, I don't really have that many, but basically all I've got is a stop casting blink macro, a stop casting counterspell macro, a focus and stop casting macro for counterspell, and an ice block macro that also gets me out of ice block the second time I press it, and a spell steal that also interrupts my casts. That's all I use. The rest of it's just fluff, really. It's, I don't really use the rest of these macros you can see here. But yeah. I might put these in the description instead of just like, well, because you might not be able to read it. This is very tiny text to understand. I've seen these type of videos before where they do macros and you can't read the text, so I'm going to put them in the description anyway. But yeah. Those are the only macros you need, really. There's no such thing as a one-shot macro for Arcane I don't think really works. It's kind of pointless, really. It's like 3 buttons, come on. Anyway, I'm also going to go over gear. As far as gearing goes, you're going to want to max out your mastery, get as much mastery as possible. You can never go wrong with mastery. Second stat you want to build up is Critical Strike. Don't bother with haste, really. Yeah. So it's mastery first, critical strike second. Now, you're going to want to get your 4-set bonus as soon as possible, because that makes it so that while Arcane Power is active, you can cast while moving Arcane Blast and Arcane Missiles. And also your 2-set bonuses are just incredibly useful. Whenever you spell steal, you gain a charge of Arcane Missiles. So yeah, both of those very handy. Now, as far as trinkets go, I'm not sure if you can still get PvP trinkets, but you're going to want to have these 2 trinkets. One that increases your intellect. You have a chance to increase your intellect by 1k whenever you deal damage. There's usually procs in while you're building up stacks, I mean. And second off is your on-use trinket, which increases your versatility by 1k. These 2 combined just deal tons of damage. Another thing to bear in mind is keybinds. Now, there are a ton of keybinds that I could go over, like putting Blink on Scroll Wheel is quite good, although it's... Nah, actually it's not that good, who am I kidding? It means that I accidentally cast it twice when I mean to cast it once, but yeah, whatever. Anyway, what you do want to do in terms of keybinds is strafe left and strafe right. You want to rebind these to A and D so that you don't end up turning with turn left and turn right. Because keyboard turning is very bad in PvP. I've actually heard people even say that they want to remove S as they move backward, because you actually move slower when you move back. So yeah, I don't do that personally. I still keep S, but what I do is I make strafe left and strafe right my A and D. What does this mean? It means that you can kite more easily, so you can go like this, or you can go like that, and you can juke more easily because you don't have to click Q and E, and it means you have 2 extra keybinds, Q and E. So yeah, it's all pretty good. Now time to show you my burst rotation. Now, what you want to do is you want to generate your charges, pop cooldowns, presence of mind, double arcane blast, then bring them down a little bit with arcane missiles, and then finish them off with an arcane barrage when they're about 50k HP. So if I was to demonstrate, it looks a little bit like this. $120k. I didn't get any unstable magic procs there though. And you do that. There you go. Now that can be very quick in duel at least. Versus melee, you're going to be blinking around a lot as well, like this. So there's a lot of mobility there. Every time you hit something like an explosion, it generates a charge. Now you can't generate more than 1 charge if you hit multiple targets. If you hit multiple targets, you just generate 1 charge. Oh, I'm slurring my words so much today. It's ridiculous. Alright. So there you go. Land it once. Double arcane explosion. Pop cooldowns. Then presence of mind into 2 arcane blast. Arcane missiles. Get him low a bit. And GG. You can finish them off with arcane barrage, which is what I usually do. But I'd like to only use it when they're at 50k because it can either deal 50k or it can deal 120k. It's very unreliable like that. Now I'm just going to demonstrate how to strafe and stuff in a duel. So what I'm going to do here is generate charges. I missed that arcane orb actually. So I'm just going to blink away. I actually accidentally did that twice. This is going really badly. Do a little bit of burst. Get him low. Trinket that. And he's dead. So yeah, it's pretty easy so long as you keep your distance and deal damage at the same time, especially with the set bonus. It's very effective. At least against warriors, it's piss easy, really. Warriors don't really stand a chance against 4 blinks. And 2 trinkets as well if you're human. But yeah. One last thing before I end the video. Juking is imperative to playing Arcane Mage in PvP. Because if you get locked in Arcane, you can't sheep, you can't interrupt, you can't deal damage, you can't... well, there's various things you can't do. You can't blink, anything. There we go. So how do you juke? You move before the end of the cast. Now I'm just going to burst them down real quick because I'm a bastard like that. I'm actually going to try and demonstrate here my arcane barrage damage. There we go, 70k. Lovely. Just going to demonstrate one more time in duel how arcane works. So I'm going to generate charges here. I actually landed that arcane orb, so now I can burst a lot quicker. Going to trinket that. I used the wrong trinket by accident, but whatever. Oh, he feared me, so I'm going to block. And I might get interrupted here. Nope. And he's dead. So yeah, arcane, quite squishy when you get up close, unless we've got Ice Barrier up. It's a pretty fun spec, and yeah. Give it a go if you've never tried it before. Maybe use this guide as a sort of guideline. There's better guides out there on how to play Arcane, but people are asking me to make a guide, so I just thought, well, I might as well do a quick one. Yeah. So thanks for watching, guys. Like, comment, subscribe, and all that jazz for more if you like the vid. I hope you found this useful, and yeah. See you next time. Bye.